Hey, what's going on, everybody? Memphis J here. Black and Tan Media, and I did a video on kind of advanced Waypoint mission planning and how that worked maybe a year or so ago when we were just working with the Evo1, but things have changed. Time to look at it again. You know, we've got the Evo2 has been added to the mix, and so mission planning has changed. So one of the first things I want to say is that with both of the videos, I'll be using one of these little pointers. You don't have to have it, but I find it a little helpful. So if you see me pointing with something, it's a little dollar store pointer thing. Secondly, I got to do two videos. I'm going to split it up. One involving just Waypoint mission planning for the Evo. That's what this one is. And then one that covers more of the Evo 2, because the way you do missions is different in each of them. So we're going to focus on Evo 1 with this video. If you're looking for Evo 2, check the comments. I'll have a link to that one. Anyway, here we go, jumping into mission. So when you click mission, the best time to do this if you're really trying to plan out a precise mission is, you know, not necessarily just at home, but without the drone in the air. You can do some stuff with the drone in the air, and I can explain some of that if people need, but I prefer, if I'm trying to do a map or something, to plan it ahead of time. So when you open up your mission kind of folder, if you will, here, and again, I'll say from the beginning, I'm getting to that by clicking the big square that says mission right here next to camera. I'm clicking mission. You won't have this mission history if you haven't made any missions before. So under Evo 1, this is what it looks like. If you want to make a new mission, you've got to click either Waypoint, Rectangular, or Polygon. So I haven't experimented very much with the Polygon or the Rectangular, but the way they work, if you click on Polygon, it brings it up here.
Remote control and mobile phone disconnected.
Aircraft flies a predetermined flight path according to the survey planning. So if you click on it, it makes a little box here, and with it being polygon, you can do different shapes. Like if I wanted to get this corner property right here, I could do that, and then it would set its mission. You could control the height for the whole mission, I guess, here. And you can control your speed. Your side overlap, I like it that it does control that, so if you want to have a little bit more overlap, that's pretty cool. I could see the polygon being used a little bit more than, for me, I'm going to say save mission.
Remote control and mobile phone disconnected.
Instead of the rectangular. Now,
remote control and mobile phone disconnected.
I'm gonna move this away. Come into somewhere different here, just random spot. Now this is way too big, and that's why it's saying waypoints exceed 99 and it won't let me go. I have to see. We're gonna keep seeing if we can make this smaller so I can explain it to you. I'll open it up a little more. Side overlap is really thick in here, so you could cover an area of this, but if you look at it, estimated time is pretty huge. Let's say you were trying to get these apartments all covered. You can click this over and get rid of it by clicking these little arrows. You can also get rid of this one on the left by clicking that arrow, and the one on the right there. But anyway, you know, you've always got to be looking at your estimated time to consider if you can do it with one battery or if you need more, depending upon how big it is. But anyway, with this rectangular, that can make it really easy if you're dealing with a certain rectangle shape. I think the polygon would do a little bit better. But with both of these, you've also got this camera action here. You could say none, or you could say time lapse. You're usually going to be using time lapse, either 2 or maybe 5 seconds. I tend to go with 5 seconds. And I've had decent luck with this 11 miles per hour. If you wanted real precise, you might could slow it down a little bit. Finish action is your choice, either go home or hover. I'm not going to spend too long on polygon or rectangular. I'm going to kind of cover a little bit more with just doing it
remote
waypoint
control
style.
And mobile phone disconnected.
I'm going to do it a little bit more waypoint style, and I'm going to show you, I'm just going to pick a random thing somewhere here in Murfreesboro. Let's say, what is this, Middle Tennessee, Shelbyville Highway. let me find something. Let's just say we wanted to map this area here. Let's say there's some construction going on beside this roadway and interstate. So, you know, of course you could choose how you want to fly these missions depending upon where you were. If you were like here, or in a different spot starting out, you might choose to have it start out near you. Sometimes I like to station myself somewhere kind of in the middle of the area I'll be mapping so that I can just turn and face where the camera, or where the drone is going to be rather. But anyway, wherever you want to start, you'll just plop this down. And it's good at this point to go ahead and make your selections if you're wanting to up your, height. If you want to lower your height, let's try it at 240, speed 11 miles per hour. Camera action, time lapse. I'm going to go 5 seconds on the time lapse, and then finish action. For this one, let's just say hover. Now, I'm going to get that out of the way, and I'm going to close this out of the way. And we've got our starting point here. Let's just map it. Now, you're not supposed to drive over roads, so let's just say, you're not supposed to fly over roads, so let's just say we're going to go here, here. We'll make our next line a little bit further out. Sometimes I find you have to click a little bit out from it and then drag it in for it to want to pick it up if you're trying to do a real close. Like if I click here, it wants to click on start instead of, but if I click over here, then I can kind of drag it to where I want. So if it helps you, just draw it really big, click over here, put it where you want it, click over here, put it where you actually want it, click over somewhere off to the side, click on it, click off. See, that picked up number 5 and would be editing it. Now I'm going to go here and now. So you notice these at this point is start, 2, 3, 4. It's adding waypoints. If you needed to make some changes, of course you can zoom in. You can add waypoints by clicking one of these pluses that are in between the numbers. There, that added 2, 3 and added in another waypoint. If I want to get rid of it, I can bring this little box back in, and pretty sure if I click on waypoint instead of route, click on waypoint, that waypoint 2 that's way out here, I want to get rid of it. I'm going to click this little trash can that's next to where it says waypoint 2. So click that trash can, bang, it's gone. We got back to our lines here. So one thing to consider is that you want a pretty standard and solid overlap when you're doing mapping missions. You want to, I'm kind of moving some of these around to give you a better idea of how I would do this. Oops. As I add them, I just kind of keep adding to my mission here, and I'll delete them. But trying to click and change where that one was a little bit. Okay, so let's say you've got your mission planned. You've got pretty good overlap. You only need to get part of this plan. Actually, let's just finish it out. Let's throw a line here. Go here. One more. Now, you do want to go a good bit wider than whatever you're doing. Like, if you were trying to do this kind of open area here, you would definitely want to go as far over as you could. You could even have your start point way over here if it wasn't for this interstate right here, you know? Now, this is just hypothetical, so I could put it further over if I wanted and add in a thing. Let's just do that to show you that if you changed your mind and you wanted to be, on the other side of this, you can add in by clicking this plus between the 2 and 3. Sometimes you might need to make it a little bigger to get it there, but now we've added a 3. Now let's add a plus there and add a 4. And we could add a plus. Does that do it? Yeah, we got what we need now. Hold on. Oops, I added one too many. 5. I'm going to click delete next to 5, that little trash can. 5 goes away. Now I can move 4. I didn't mean to click that. Say cancel for now. 4. Here. 3. Here. And we got this here. Now, I'm not doing a real good job with this, but you're getting the idea of what I would do. I would have some kind of overlap here covering myself. Now, with the route, it does say camera action time lapse, 5 seconds, hover. One thing you want to consider, in this case, down in the bottom corner, you've got the distance, estimated time, and then your amount of waypoints. I don't know how much you get out of your batteries. I don't keep a real good tally on them, different ones, as much as I used to. But I want to say it's a little over 20 minutes. I'll let you know, though, that about 5 minutes, depending upon how you're flying, 5 minutes or so left in your flight, it's wanting to go into a return to home mode. So I don't suggest planning missions much more than, I'd say, 13 or 14 minutes, depending upon if you have to fly from where you are in the middle of the area over to your starting point. It'd be better to plan this in 2 missions. And so I'll show you a little bit of how I would do that if I needed to. I'd start by just deleting waypoints, and you don't have to click on all of these waypoints to change what you're moving. You could just click between them by using these little arrows next to the waypoint. So let's just say waypoint 19, delete, 18, delete, 17, delete, 16, delete. I'm going to get it back to, okay, here. Let's do one. Let's see. That's a little bit less than half. Let's add one more out there. That's 14 minutes, 47 seconds. If I don't have to fly a long way to get to my starting point, I would feel safe with this. If there's not a lot of wind, and I don't think it's going to have to fight too hard, I think it would be able to handle this. Starting in at, I'm going to delete this second waypoint because it's kind of irrelevant. Anyway, you notice as I delete that waypoint, my time's a little bit less now. It's less than 15 minutes. I would kind of shoot for about 15 minutes and then experiment and see if you're able to get that out of your batteries. One thing I will cover while I'm thinking about it is that, say this was your situation and you needed to, I'm trying to zoom in and I keep grabbing waypoints. Let me get off to the side. Let's say you needed to resume a mission, or you needed to plan a second mission to start where this one ended. What you could do is you could find a very specific point on this Google map. You could say West Fork, Stones River, right on the R of that, basically, and then put your spot right there on the R of the Stones River. And then, if you're going to save it, you would click this little disk icon that's next to the circle with the X in it, up in the top left-hand corner. This disk icon here, click it, save mission, let's say new mission 4. Now, route saved successfully. Now to do something, I would come in here with my next mission and I would move my spot and I would make my starting point that exact same location. One other thing I'll cover while I'm thinking about this and how it works when you're doing your planning ahead of time, and also how it can go right or wrong when you're on the job site. Sometimes you may have something where something holds you up, or you start the mission, you have to start it over, or you plan a mission that's too long and you don't have enough battery to cover the entire set of waypoints and mission, and you get cut off in the middle. Let's say you were doing this and you ended right here at this point number 9. And you ended up having to come home, or the drone just, landed, or whatever happened. You got to about point number 9. You completed number 9, but you didn't get much past it. Even if you started down this line and you didn't get there, what I would do would be come in here and go to something like waypoint 8, delete it, waypoint 7, delete it, waypoint 6, delete, waypoint 5, delete, waypoint 4, delete, 3, delete, 2, delete. Then, if you actually go, I moved number 9, but if you knew exactly where your spot was, you would just set yourself a mission there. If you don't know there, go to waypoint 1, which is where you were originally starting, and just delete it. And now your start will be where you need to be. Now, this might be different if you were covering this whole property, of course, but nothing says you can't run a little short mission on your next battery and then continue into your next one, especially if your mission is going to be ending somewhere where, say, this new number 3 point is. You could pick up your next mission there. As far as my results, I've had decent results. Of course, you're going to get more accuracy and detail the lower you can go, but you always want to make sure you're well over any trees that are in the area, any wires. If it's a big area, you need to make sure you've kind of driven around or scouted the whole area. If you need to get binoculars, do that. Make sure you're realizing sometimes telephone wires can be kind of hidden, and you're not going to see them with your drone camera when it's flying facing down doing mapping missions. So always make sure you know the area. If you haven't been to this place first, I would err on the side of caution and go with what it says, like 200 feet or above. Stay well above anything. But always when you get there, make sure that what you planned will cover that. You can go in here and change each individual waypoint, I believe, and add different things. You can change your route. I've got, I guess, 253 feet, and then I've got all my waypoints, and I guess they're all gonna keep that same, heading. You do need to experiment with this a little bit before you actually take it to do it on a paid job. I shouldn't have to tell people that, but I guess you do nowadays. Anyway, I just wanted to do this. This is kind of the basics of what I would do. Anytime you make a change, you would need to save it if it's something you're gonna come to later. You can see some of the missions that I've done. This new mission 3 down here.
Remote control and mobile phone disconnected.
Kidding. This is a situation where I was doing this entire neighborhood, and I had split my mission into end. I don't know why this 5 got there. That was kind of added on the spot by mistake. But I originally had a mission that went from over in this area and then went along the route here and then went back and forth over to where I was now. I'm going to delete some of these points that I just added. But this start point that's here in the middle, that was not originally there. That was probably originally like my 8 or 9 point, and I had an issue where it didn't fly and it wasn't taking pictures in the very beginning, so I stopped it and started the mission over, and I had to do that. So that is a case of, I could show you from experience, that's how you would go if you ran into a situation where you had to stop a mission halfway through, or you had to do an emergency landing and you needed to pick a mission back up. It is possible. It's not as easy as just doing a mission. That's why I would suggest keeping your estimated time down here in this corner. Keep that estimated time, keep that at a something under 15 minutes, unless you've got brand new batteries. You might push it a little bit more than that. But in my experience, especially if you're going to be fighting wind, that will affect you a lot. The Evo does really well with wind, but I actually tried to do some mapping with it over the weekend, and it was gusting up to like 25 or 30 miles per hour, and straight on facing the wind, there was no way that thing was doing 11 miles per hour. So you need to consider that, and of course wind's going to affect your results long term. But I do think it's a capable drone. I wouldn't send it out there to do mapping and stuff in super high winds. I don't know. Experiment. Your mileage may vary. I don't know what a whole lot more that I could say other than just nitpicking little parts of the thing. You can use these to change hybrid between a normal map, and then I like using a hybrid or the GPS here because I can actually see what it is. I do a lot of home builders. That's what I was doing with this. This is a big home building site, and they like to know how far along they are and keep their planning coming along. But you could change that. You can change what your starting point would be, you or the aircraft, by that way. The only other thing I could add is that if you are actually able to fly and you want to do a waypoint mission, you would be flying, you would click waypoint mission, and then you would click waypoint.
Remote control and mobile phone disconnected.
It wouldn't say that, but it would give you the option then to either use the aircraft or your finger to draw your spots. So I guess, though, if you really wanted to do a detailed map that you would do many times, that might be a way to go. Take a battery out there, take a couple of batteries out there, and mark your waypoint spots, actually looking at the camera and getting your map exactly where you wanted it. That would be an option. I've never done it like that, but I guess I could consider it if that worked for your situation. So anyway, I'm not going to waste a whole lot more of your time here. I appreciate you hanging with me and checking out this video. Oh man, my hair looks great, doesn't it? I should go back to small. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate you checking out this video. If I can help you some more, you let me know. This is Black and Tan Media signing out. Holler.